Hello and welcome to D&D with high school students, season 3. We're back. And I'm going to recap because it's been a little bit for those who don't just binge watch this. Like maybe it's been a couple weeks. And so we all had to recap because we've been very busy. We were doing things. What were we doing? Oh, we had like spring break. And Sam was in Mexico. And Tony was in Poland. No, he wasn't. I just made that up. All right, so guys, you remember that you guys successfully brought the princess, right, to Kadimki Kala and to the monastery to be assessed and hopefully treated by the abbot, who you were told the abbot has like extraordinary powers of curing and healing. Okay. You walked around the city a little bit, and then you kind of went up into the monastery, which is built into the mountain. And when you got up there, you discovered like this walled-in area that was kind of divided up into 4 equal spaces, each representing an elemental zone, like earth, wind, fire, and water. And then in the center of these 4 quadrants, if you will, was the temple, the simple dome-roofed temple. You guys went in. You saw the abbot, who is a very old-looking dragonborn, seated on a pillow, like meditating and quietly like communicating with the princess. As you were leaving to head back to the city, you heard something, Beecher, a voice. And you're not sure if it was this kind of hearing, like mentally, telepathically in your head, or if you were hearing it. It sounded like the voice of Jaquan when he telepathically communicates with you. But you know that this voice is not. This voice is when your patron is communicating through Jaquan to you. There's a resonance, a magical resonance. Like imagine like somebody talking and then all of a sudden they have like an echo effect on their voice, but it's all in your head, right? So you're kind of like taken aback, right? And you hear the voice speak to you. Very similarly to how it has directed you before at times. You remember how like there have been times where like you were wandering around and it guided you to a certain place and told you to acquire something?
Yeah.
What were some of those things that you had banked? Do you remember them?
Oh, yes, I do remember that. And I have them written down. I have the skeletons of the 5 snakes. I have the odd skull.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the candle with the eyes in it.
Mm-hmm. So this voice speaks to you, Beecher, and this is the resonance that your mind hears. Find the scroll.
Okay.
Okay.
You have pain suddenly, searing pain in your eyes. Basically you hear that in your mind, everything flashes white for like a millisecond. Like just you're blind. It's like somebody set off a flash grenade in front of you. You have searing pain in your eyes, and you blink, and seconds later you're completely fine. So you guys see this, like you're walking out and you see Olin like just stop and go like, oh. And he blinks a couple times.
The monastery?
Yeah, so you guys are like right outside of the building of the monastery.
Are you okay?
Didn't I go and talk to the captain guy though?
I think you
with
did.
With the guard?
Yes.
So was I here though?
Yes. Let's say that you caught up with them. So
okay.
You all are together.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna ask.
Hey buddy, what's wrong?
I don't know. I thought I had something in my eye, but I guess I didn't.
Wow, really? It almost seemed like there was searing pain. For just a couple of seconds, and then it was like
I'm
going to
have you make an insight roll, Tony, because you wouldn't necessarily notice that.
His eyes, searing pain.
Maybe. You might have noticed him like blinking his eyes vigorously, but
17.
Oh, wow.
Wait, plus. What am I looking for? Insight? 18.
Okay. Are you actively trying to not let on?
Yeah.
Okay, roll deception.
10.
you're like, I thought I had something in my eye, but it must have been fine. And you're like,
Smells like
I want
there's
to roll
been
insight on that.
searing
Go ahead.
eyeball flesh, but guess not.
Yeah, you also
Guess
sense
that's
that there have been
Fuck.
flies.
I'm
Why
gonna
are you guys just on my
bandwagon.
case?
13,
So plus your insight.
17.
Ooh. So
I hear a
you're like,
voice in my only I can hear, and everyone's like, so what was that voice?
well,
It was
but
like, what?
your body language, the moment that you stalled and kind of like looked dazed for a moment and then blinked, that's what they're picking up on. They're picking,
Which is probably about
you
a total
all
of, like-
that succeeded on your insight rolls are definitely, you feel like something odd might have just happened
There
with
was-
him, and he's not letting on what it was.
So he was
Why you
probably
gotta be
like,
secretive, bro?
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
we would
Now
have saw that.
I will say this: none of you guys have ever seen him behave or react that way before. So you don't know why. You don't know why he did that, but you do feel like something odd must have just happened
Yeah,
because
but
you've never seen him react that way before.
He's done like little things in the past. Though,
Not
where
like
he's
this.
been like not this to this degree, but I don't know because I've been suspicious. Cademan has been suspicious of Beecher's
By the way,
character
Jaquan
for a
now
long
like
time.
uncoils from around your neck, and he flies back into the monastery. He's invisible.
He goes back.
He goes
into
back in the building.
So where's Jaquan going?
He's
the-
invisible.
invisible.
You can't see.
You don't know.
Oh,
what
oh,
the-
sorry.
Yeah.
Dumb.
You felt
What
him
if I
leave.
rolled like
Yeah.
a,
Okay.
like a 25? All right, sorry. I thought
And-
I thought we
and-
could see him for some reason.
A moment later, you perceive through Jaquan's eyes that he's perched like up in a corner inside the monastery, like watching the center of the monastery where the dragonborn abbot and the princess are located. And you see he's like staring intently at like it looks like from this perspective like there's a pile of pillows and like some cloth piled up between the two of them.
I'm gonna say to you guys, I am not sure what you guys are talking about, but I have been walking around this this monastery for a little while. Do you guys want to go check out how the princess is doing?
Sure. Sure.
So you guys were just in there. And the princess is
I
like
didn't know we
engaged
were
in
Right.
some kind of
Yeah.
I didn't know we were
conversation.
just in there, but okay.
So Owen, so
You peeked in.
I'll
and you
be
saw,
excited to go in because I was just on top of the roof.
Okay.
okay. You know what?
I want to see if we can talk to someone who knows what's happening.
Cool. You know, I'm gonna hang back. I'm gonna have some of my pipe.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way,
Reflect on things.
Hank's been fed, but it's probably going to be pretty soon that he's going to need to
You know.
do his business, and you don't think it would be well received if you let your pig take a dump in the monastery
Right.
grounds.
Yeah. You know, I probably gotta give Hank a bath too. You know, we have bath time at the same time because that's how pig gnome relationships are. I'm sure you understand. So I'm gonna head back, have some of my pipe, and go wash
All
my
right.
pig. If
So
you
you
get
guys
my
are
drift.
you have acquired spots in an
I'm
inn,
gonna
so
I'm gonna insight the hell out of that thing right there.
Okay.
You're inciting me. I'm gonna incite you, but God knows I'd roll terribly. 17.
Damn it.
you sense that he's probably up to something other than what he just said.
Okay. I am gonna telepathically tell Jaquan to leave his perch and follow the gnome.
But master, the scroll.
I got it. Do what I.
All right,
Oh,
you-
also,
you
I
perceive-
before the,
I'm
wait,
coming with
quickly before the end of my
Beecher.
turn, I messaged to Beecher. I'm like, "What's up, bud?" And just kind of look at him. I just kind of give him one of these
You can't what? You can't
I have
message
message,
him.
yeah.
He has
Don't you
message.
whisper?
Oh yeah.
Just got message.
So you
but it's just like
Nothing much. What's going on with you?
whatever, dude. Whatever.
make
I'm on
a
your case.
Yeah,
religion
I'm on
roll.
your case, pal.
Does that mean
6. Do you have a religion?
Yeah, 5. So
Let me do what I gotta do.
Okay, you one thing that you notice that's different about this monastery is that all of the monks seem to venerate each of the elemental deities, the gods, like equally. But when you were inside, like when you peeked inside of the monastery, there was no evidence of earth, wind, fire, or water. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just a very plain room.
Wait, so where are the quadrants? When you
So
get in?
imagine like this square is outside, like it's walled, and it's divided up into 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And
like
then,
when you're just
and then at
peeking
the
in.
center where this D20 is the building. So like it's like one quadrant here is earth, wind, fire, and water, and then the building's in the middle. But when you peeked into the building and you saw the dragonborn abbot and the princess, there was no earth, wind, fire, or water, which is odd because most temples have like, you know, candles for fire and a little bowl of water for water and some sand for earth, you know what I mean? Like, and wind chimes for air. But you saw none of those typical
It
like
was just empty.
religious symbols inside of the building. It was like completely just a blank building. That's just, I'm pointing that out because you, as a paladin, you would have been like, it'd be like going into a church that had like a cross on the outside and, you know, whatever, and stained glass windows, but inside there's no
It's just
churchy stuff. Do you understand what I mean?
It's odd.
Yeah, you just notice that. Okay, so where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm going inside the monastery and going to try
What are you guys doing?
do stuff.
I'm going inside the monastery
Okay.
and just gonna.
I want to like
Walk
snoop
around.
around. I
It
wanna
seems to be
find
open. It's
something.
not, like I said, there's no doors really anywhere here. So it's all like open. There's like an archway to enter and no doors or locks or anything. So you seem to be able to freely come and go. You want to just walk around the grounds?
Yeah, like look for stuff.
Okay. You see, I'll deal with you first. So as you're walking around, you see each kind of like garden, each quadrant has like 1 to 2 monks kind of tending to it, right? So like there's like some plowing and planting going on the earth side, and then like in the fire they're you know kind of like managing some candles and some oil braziers that are burning, and so you kind of get this feeling that like they're always kind of doing that, and they're like praying. You see them like doing offerings and little things like that.
Okay.
And then the rest of the grounds you kind of see like monks just kind of walking. Some of them are like sitting down like reading books. There are a few of them that are in a circle kind of like discussing things and like nodding and, you know, kind of talking about religion,
And that's it.
philosophizing. That's it. That's all you see.
There's like nothing cool.
There's really nothing cool that you see.
So,
Okay, inside the building,
Philosophy
You guys go
is
in.
pretty cool, Bethany.
you see, like I said, at the center inside of the main building, you still see the Dragonborn abbot in his simple like yellow robes. Like looks basically like all the other monks outside. They're all wearing the same golden robes, and he's sitting on a pillow. And across from him, like really close, is the princess. She's also sitting on a pillow, and they're both sitting on the floor. And there's some pillows in between them and some cloth.
Is there anyone around that I can talk to?
There are a couple monks, yeah. They're you know kind of doing different little things.
Are
like-
there any monks that look like increasingly interested in what's going on? Or are they all just doing their own thing?
You know what? They don't seem interested. It's like they don't seem fazed by her being, you know, royalty or anything like that, or curious. They just
Then I'm
seem
just
to
gonna
be,
go to any old the
Okay.
first monk I see.
All right, you see like you see a human monk.
Oh, what's going on? How's everything going?
He's like, well, the abbot is communing with the princess to discover the nature of her maladies.
Interesting.
It is his way of assessing her health and her well-being.
Do you think it's okay if I listen?
Of course, there are no barriers here, my son. He nods to you and
Bless you. And then
walks along. So you like kind of walk a little closer, and now you can kind of hear more like every once in a while the abbot will be like, and how does that make you feel? And the princess is like, tired sometimes, but also anxious. And he's like, and when you sleep, how do you sleep? And he seems to be like asking questions, basic kind of, apparently, medical kind of
Yeah.
questions. Like, I see it. Have you been consuming food regularly? And that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, sometimes I don't have an appetite. And he's like, you see, like, and then he'd like pause and like just kind of like look her over for a minute and nod. And then he'd ask another question. So how long do you sit there?
I'll.
They
probably,
seem to pay you no attention.
I'm just gonna get bored and start walking away.
Okay. Just as you're about to get bored and start walking away, he's like, and what torments you? She's like, I sometimes hear voices.
Well, I'm definitely gonna start listening.
And you're like, excuse me, voices? And so like he's like, do you understand the voices? She's like, sometimes they're just whispers, and they seem far away, and I can't understand them, but there are many of them. And he's like, you tell me, my child. And she's like, sometimes I hear voices and I do understand them, but they say horrible, frightening things, and I have nightmares sometimes. And sometimes I feel sick after I hear these voices. And he's like, I see. He's like, when did you begin feeling this way? She's like, perhaps a month or so ago. It was shortly after I returned to the capital from my journey to Dario Larcherie for the summer wine festival. I began to feel ill, as if that's when these voices started to come to me. And he's like, Indeed. And can you recall any interactions that may have brought this about, or anything odd or strange? She's like, no, I can't. We had a somewhat tumultuous journey. There were attacks from some of the Quoshin, the barbarians, along the route, but my escorts brought me safely back to the capital.
I'm sure one of those guys must be a hero.
And he's like, are you sure that nothing else occurred that was odd? And he roll insight. Sam, you
16.
are you this close too, or are you kind of
Yeah.
hanging back? All right, you roll
16.
insight too. 16 total.
19.
At this part of this interaction, you notice two things. First of all, she seems to not be completely open in her communication. She seems to be guarded a little bit for these last couple of questions. And number two, you notice the abbot is actively more
Trying to dig deep.
engaged. Like in other words, you suspect that he suspects something.
Hi.
You get the suspicion that like he's not buying whatever it is that
Yeah.
she's trying to sell. And so he continues to like look at her, and he's like,
So, Allan.
he's like, you say that there was nothing other than the attacks from the Quoshin that would have disturbed you in this time period. She's like, no, nothing. And he's like, and you are speaking truthfully to me, to the best of your knowledge? And she's like, yes, Abbot. He's like, Then you wouldn't mind spending the night here. We will provide you with pillows and all of the comforts that you'll need. And
Slumber party?
you guys, since you made your insight roll, I'm not going to make you make another one. But you notice at this that she's like You see fear and like anxiety creep onto her face when he suggests staying here.
So I want to sneak up on Olin and like just like whisper in his ear and be like, "So is she scared of him?" and scare him.
I think so.
Okay.
So she's like, I feel like I would be more comfortable in my chambers at the inn, Abbot. And he's like, my lady, you must stay here tonight among us. We will ensure your safety and comfort.
Tango, we're not
All of your
pregnant,
needs will be handled here. You will stay here tonight. She's like, no, but I can't. I don't want to. I need to return to my chambers. And you see her like agitated, and she's like kind of leaning back to like start standing up, and he's like, sit. And she's like, and just sits. You can make an Arcana.
Yeah, that was what I was about to say.
Go ahead.
Okay.
6.
Does he care that we're there and listening?
No one seems to care that you guys are there.
Okay, so I just want to like walk in
Uh-huh.
if I have to walk
Little
in
closer.
and be like, "Hey, you know, we can stay here too if you want us to, and just hang out with you." To the princess.
She like, so she sits after he says sit.
Mhm.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
And then she
I rolled
hears
a 6,
you.
so am I like?
It seems like you're,
She
you know,
said that.
he just must have some authority.
Right.
That's all. So you feel like she looks up at you and like nods, and she's like, oh okay, I'll stay.
Okay.
And the abbot is like, very well then, I will make the arrangements. And he stands up and he walks over to one of the other monks, and the monk comes over and like leans forward and he's like, and the monk nods. And then the abbot walks out.
Can I? Wait, he walks out.
The abbot walks out.
I want to have a conversation with her, like girl
Okay.
to girl.
Okay, so you sit down next to her.
Okay.
There's like pillows and blankets and stuff. You see the other monks are like bringing things over, like trays of food and beverages and stuff like that.
So when they're done, I want to talk to her.
Okay, so you kind of wait until they're done setting things up, and then you're gonna sit down with her.
Yeah.
Pause. All right, where are you? Did you go back to town?
Yeah, I'm in town.
Okay.
Hmm.
So are you heading back to like the inn where you guys are staying?
I want to go to a library.
Okay. There is one.
Okay.
All right. Are you bringing Hank to the library, or are you dropping him off at the inn?
Hank's been dropped off.
Okay, so you
Okay.
drop Hank off. You go to the library.
Hank's been taken care of.
Okay, you're on your way. You.
I want to go back inside.
Okay, you're about to go back inside, and you notice, like after you're walking around and observing stuff, you notice that the abbot himself is walking out as you're walking in, and he stops and he looks over to you and he's like, "Good day to you, servant."
Can I like talk to him?
Yeah.
What should I just
You find it odd that he called you servant. You're not familiar with that
okay.
because you don't work for him.
What's up, Abbott?
The princess will stay here tonight. Do you wish to stay as well?
Yes.
You may. I have made arrangements. The monks will provide you all with food, drinks, bedding, whatever you desire. But my only requirement is that the princess will stay here tonight, so that we may observe her and determine whether her illnesses are linked to anything else.
Can I roll insight on why?
Yes, you can.
I got an 8. So 12. What the other ones?
You feel like he's telling the truth, like he wants her to stay so that they can just observe her and see how she acts and see whether her illness manifests.
Okay.
You get the feeling like he was telling the truth. And he's like, well, very well then. And he walks away through the gardens. All right. You go over, you sit down next to her, like, she seems like not content, more like resigned, like, okay, I'm grounded, like that. Like, basically that's,
I want.
she like, is eating some grapes.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, how are you? How do you find this place?
Fine. I want to persuade her to talk to me, like to open up to me.
So play. Don't just roll. You have to persuade.
So, I was listening to your conversation with Abbott,
Yes.
and I noticed that when he mentioned staying here, you kind of got freaked out a little bit. What? Why did you get all freaked out?
She's like,
Can I roll? Can I roll?
she's like, did I?
Oh, bruh.
I don't remember that.
I can see right through yours.
Roll insight.
15.
So you feel like she's telling the truth. Like that she actually doesn't remember. She's like, what did I do? What did I say?
Well, when he said, would you mind like staying here for the night? You were like, no, I can't.
She's like, I didn't say that. I agreed.
Do
I'm
you-
here.
Do you remember like hearing any voices in your head when you said that?
So you ask her that, and then she stops for a second and like totally like blank face, like,
Wait.
and then she blinks and she's like, where am I?
What?
Where are we? She starts like digging through the piles of pillows and like blankets, like furiously, like searching, and she's like, where is it? She's like, where is my box? Who took my box? She's like, I command you to find my box now.
She just groped me.
I thought it was her arm, and I just like hit her boob.
It's fine. All right, so
No.
Did I just see that?
yeah, so you're
And
you see her go over there, and they're like, and then you
Can we
see
ask her what
like
she's looking
you
for?
see her
Can I
like,
ask her like what is she looking for?
where is
Yeah.
my box? She's like, we must leave at
The
once.
cylinder box?
Take it.
She gets up.
The
Wait,
She
did I
starts
take
walking
my
out.
box?
It wasn't a cylinder.
It was
She
The
starts
one
walking
in
out. I'm
the-
gonna
You
follow
did
her.
take it.
Yeah, I
Following
didn't.
her.
I didn't take
It was a
it.
cylinder.
I played with it, but it's in her like carriage thing.
I thought it was a cylinder box.
Was it a
Okay,
cylinder?
so tell her it's in her
Box?
carriage.
The one in the carriage that they found?
Yeah,
Wasn't it,
tell
wasn't
her
it a
Was it
cylinder
cylinder
box?
shape or box shape?
It's like a box.
No, it was a square
It's
box, a
it,
metal.
like, doesn't open.
Do you
That's
not
what it
remember the
was.
description?
It was
I
a
totally
square
thought it
box,
was- He
and
explained
this
it
is
to
the four symbols that I recognize.
He'll tell
Right,
her.
right,
So
right,
it was a
right.
square
Right,
box,
I'm wrong.
and there were symbols
I
on
totally-
each, on four of
Mandela
the sides.
effect. I thought it was.
I'm gonna follow
She
her.
gets up and starts walking out, and you notice like the monks are like, princess, hold on, wait, and she's like, get out of my way, I command you. And one of the monks is like, princess, I humbly beseech you to please wait. Whatever it is that you need, we will acquire it and bring it for you. And she's like, she stops and she's like, I require my possessions. Send a servant at once to bring them here. And the monk is like, we will do that at once.
I'm gonna start looking through the pile for her box.
There's
It's
just
not
blankets
there.
and pillows.
It's in her
Is there
carriage.
nothing but that?
I'm gonna
and like food and
ask her if she remembers where's the last time she saw it.
she's like, it was brought up from the carriage to our room, to my room, in the inn.
Okay.
I require it at once.
So I'm gonna run over there.
So you're staying
Um,
and you're
I'm
staying.
gonna watch the princess.
Okay.
is there any other furniture in this place? Any
There are, like-
furniture?
There are like chairs and couches kind of like along the wall, like little reading nooks basically,
Yeah.
where there's like shelves and books and things.
Any scrolls?
Yeah, a lot of scrolls. There are scrolls, there are books, there are like other kind of objects of religious
I'm
significance.
just gonna stay and look around at books and scrolls.
Okay.
I'm running to the inn.
So you go to leave,
Yeah.
And you're headed towards like the gate of the main monastery, and you see the abbot standing there on the road, like looking at you with a smile. And he's like, "Where are you going?
That's creepy.
What did she ask you to do?
I gotta go take a poop.
Do not lie to me."
Who said I'm lying? I had a big burrito this morning.
Tell me what she told you. It is important to understanding her illness.
I'm rolling insight on him. Where is it?
4.
You know,
Here, wait.
just as a
Doesn't
side
count.
note here, people, if you were playing at a table with Satine Phoenix, that would mean you have disadvantage if your dice rolls off the table. That was a pretty good one.
13.
Okay, 13. Yeah, he's telling you the truth. He's like, tell me what she told you. It is important to understanding her illness.
What do I get out of it?
Perhaps
What the illness
the honor
is.
of saving the princess.
How about some money?
Money is of no object. The princess is tied to His Holiness Korpai Gambar and the entire treasury. I am certain that you would be rewarded if, indeed, you are consumed by greed and selfishness,
I know,
rather
I'm
than
just having
a
fun with
need
this.
to provide health to a sickly girl.
So she told me to go get, or she didn't really tell me, I just wanted to help her out to go get her box.
Did she describe it? Do you know what it is?
I mean, I saw it. She didn't tell me.
Do you know where it is?
Yes.
Bring it here, but do not come into the monastery with it. I will meet you just outside of the gate.
Okay.
He walks with you outside of the gate, and he sits there, like on a rock, meditating.
I'm gonna telepathically talk with Jaquan and say, you know that box? Remember that
So
box?
Jaquan is relaying this to you. So you're flashing in and out of your own perception and his. So you see through Jaquan's eyes, because you told Jaquan to follow the abbot. You saw this encounter between Alora
I
and
told him to
Jaquan-
follow him.
and the abbot. Oh, him.
I told him to follow him.
Rip. All right, so Jaquan's like in town, flying around.
I'm gonna say, Jaquan, do you remember that box?
Yes, master. The box with the symbols.
Do you have any idea how to sense where it is?
It is in her room.
Go there.
It is much bigger than I can. It weighs more
I
than
don't
what
expect
can
you to carry it. Go there and follow the box.
I will. As you command, master.
All right.
Okay. Am I there yet?
You are pretty fast. So we'll say about 10 minutes later, you get to the inn.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in, you have rooms there, so it's not weird for you to be there. You walk in, you go upstairs, you go down the hall towards the end, which is like the biggest of the rooms, and you see two of the regular guards, like outside of the room. And they're like, "Oh, how is it going, Alore? Were you up at the monastery? How's the princess?"
Yes, I was up at the monastery and the abbot asked if I would please come and get this box that the princess needs.
They're like, "Well,
I
we're
show
not
him my
supposed to let anyone
scroll
into
of
her."
pedigree.
You can make a persuasion roll.
8.
They're like, "We're not supposed to let anyone into her room. It's you. Maybe you should ask one of the shield maidens." Hold on. He like knocks 3 times and then waits and knocks another time. And then a moment later, the door opens and you see one of the 2 shield maidens answer the door, and she's like, "What is it? What does she need? What do you need?"
The abbot asked if I would please come and retrieve the box that the princess needs to ensure that he knows everything that is going wrong with her so that he can help her.
She's like, "You are not lying, or you're really good at lying. But we will bring it and go back with you.
Okay.
Okay, so she
Gotta
goes
run
in the
fast.
room. Like 2 minutes later, she comes out, and she has like what looks like a square box, but it's covered by like a little tablecloth kind of thing, right? And the other shield maiden's with her. Now they're not wearing their full armor, right? They just have like just the top part, like just the breastplate and like their swords. So they're like, shall we go? So they're going along. So you guys walk back up to the monastery. Jaquan contacts you and tells you, like,
Shield maiden.
2 shield maidens, and one of them is carrying the box, and Alore is with them, and they're returning to the monastery.
All right,
What should I do, Master?
follow Cademan again.
I will find him.
Wow, you're really suspicious of me.
Okay.
You're gonna be very
So-
disappointed. Because I didn't have a plan.
This entire time, the princess is like, she's gone back inside, but she's like pacing back and forth, and like, she's doing odd things, like she's like curling her hair around her finger and like
She's
scratching her
thinking
head,
aloud.
and she's like, every once in a while you just hear her go like, she like muttering things under her breath. She's very, like, just,
I'm just playing a character.
she seems more like full of anxiety and nervousness than, like, on the journey up she was more like sickly, like she had the flu. This is a different behavior. She seems like more agitated.
Okay. Can I just talk to her? Can I just
You
be
can,
like, what's up?
yeah.
What's going on? Why are you pacing?
I am the princess. I should not be confined here like some prisoner. I need my personal belongings. These are my rights.
Why do you want the box so much?
I have to answer to you. That's what she says. Like, it's weird. Like, she's like, I don't have to answer to you.
Okay.
And then you notice she kind of stops and she's like, I'm sorry. I just need it.
Is there any way I can help you?
I just need my possessions, my things. I'm sure I'll feel much better once I have all of my things here. Although I'd really rather not be here. I'd rather just be back in my room at the inn. I need to rest. I'm exhausted.
Do you want to lay down? Do you want one of the monks to make you a bed?
She like looks over and she's like, yes, perhaps you're right. I'll lay down. She goes over to the pillows and just kind of like plumps them up and kind of makes a little bedroll.
A nestle?
Yeah, you notice that she's not totally content, but she's also not as like freaked out as she was before. So, meanwhile,
I saw it.
so you're in the grounds still, or are you inside of the temple?
I was looking at some of the scrolls inside
Okay,
the temple.
you were looking at some of the scrolls. Make an investigation roll. You're not searching for anything specifically, or are you?
I'm looking at everything, but I am keeping a sharp eye for something that means something to me. I rolled a 12.
Okay. Your initial kind of foray is just, you're like looking through each of the shelves, just kind of like quickly skimming and browsing. You see a lot of books about different philosophies. You see history books. You see multitudinous books about each of the elemental gods, like, earth, wind, fire, water, practices of the monks, the prayers and rituals, that kind of stuff. Some of them are books, some of them are scrolls. Some of the scrolls are older, but you kind of don't really find anything that seems out of the ordinary to you. It's all pretty much in keeping with what you would expect from the library in a temple.
What?
The main difference is that there aren't rows of books and rows of shelves as you would find in the library. All of the shelving is around the perimeter, like around the outside walls, and then the inside's pretty open. So, Okay, so you're coming back with the shield maidens, and you're like
Yes.
coming up the final stretch of the path, and you see the abbot where he left off, like sitting on a rock just outside of the gates. And when you're about 20 feet away, he's like, "That is far enough." And the shield maidens like look at you and they look at him, and he's like, "Is that the object that she requested?
Yes.
Set it down there." And the shield maiden's like, I thought she wanted it. Yes, I must examine it first. I must make sure it is safe. They kind of like look at you, and then they look at the abbot, and they're like, okay. So they lay down the cloth that they had wrapped it in, and then they set the box down. So now you see it. And again, it is a dull grayish metal box. You don't see any keyhole, you don't see any hinges or a way to open it up in any way. It's like a gray metal square, but you see symbols on it that look familiar. Foreign, but familiar, that you also saw on the rug.
Okay.
So the abbot's looking at it. He's like just gazing at it from like 20 feet away. Like he doesn't get up from his rock, he's just looking at it. The shield maidens are kind of like, okay. They're looking back and forth, and they're like, "Is the princess inside? Is she okay?" And the abbot's like, "Yes. Leave the box there. I am going to examine it closer. You may go. She is inside of the monastery in safety." So they kind of look at you, and they nod, and then they go inside the gate and start heading towards the main building. So you go with them, or
I
do you
stay
stay there? Okay. So you're staying there. Let's see. Let me see your character sheet. What are you looking at most?
I'm looking at his
Like him?
reactions to the box because I've already seen the box.
Okay. So
Sorry.
you see that he seems curious, but he still hasn't gotten up. He's just staring at it from like 20 feet away. Like you're closer to the box than he is. And then finally he gets up. He walks over slowly towards it, and he gets within about 10 feet of it. And you see he reaches out his hands and like kind of closes his eyes. And he's muttering something. Very odd.
I'm gonna ask him what's odd.
There is great magic contained within that. The box itself is not magic, but there is magic on it and in it.
I'm gonna ask him what kind of magic he thinks is inside the box.
I do not know yet, but I do know that this box will not come within the walls of the monastery, nor will the princess have it.
Do you think it could hurt her more?
I do not know for sure, but I know that this must somehow be linked to her illness.
So what you want to do about it?
You will stay here with the box. I will have the monks bring tents and bedrolls and food and supplies out for you. You will camp outside of the walls, and you will guard it. He gets up and walks back inside.
Excuse me.
Well, all
He
suspicion
turns
of
to you and
him
he's
is
like,
gone.
"You will do this on behalf of His Holiness. It is so."
You're gonna bring my man into this.
And then he walks back into the gate. So
Rude.
maybe 5 minutes later, a bunch of monks come out and they set up a tent for you. Like they find like a nice clearing. They set up a tent. They put blankets inside the tent. They put bedrolls out. They bring like food. They make a small fire for you. Basically, they set up a really nice camp. And they're like, "Would you like
there
anything else,
s'mores?
ma'am?" They're
I
like,
want some
they bring
s'mores.
out trays of food and drinks, wine, water, all sorts of stuff. So it's not too bad.
They ask for anything else? Can I ask them for a massage since I'm going to be staying out here all night?
The monk is like, certainly. He's like, whoosh. Then he like begins pressure point massaging you because he's a monk. Get it?
Can I get
pressure
one?
points.
Can I come out and get one?
Yeah, but you're like you have armor on. All right, so you're still in there, right?
You guys
And,
have
like she
fun.
seems really calm.
I'm chilling.
And you notice the 2 shield maidens come into the temple. And they're like, they walk in and they're like, Princess, we're here. How are you? And she like looks up and she's like, have you brought it? Have you brought the box? And they're like, well, the abbot wanted to examine it first, so we left it with him. She jumps up and she's like, what? You fools! And she like starts running towards the door.
No!
Like hauling ass
Beth, you know
towards
what
the
I
door.
do.
Can I like get in her way and like stop her?
Yes. You have
Do you sleep?
you have a magnificent strength.
Okay.
All you have to do is make a grapple. So that's really easy. Roll a d20 and add 6. Oh, well, you rolled a 1. So you're like, you're so caught off guard by the fact that she jumped up that fast and that her demeanor changed immediately from like relatively calm to totally pissed off in like a split second.
Shift
That
personality
she
disorder.
jumps up and runs, and you go to hold on to her, and she just slips through and runs.
Okay.
The shield maidens seem like confused, but one of them's like, hold on, princess, and like grabs her and like doesn't tackle her, but kind of like picks her up and starts carrying her back in. And the princess is like banging and kicking and stuff, and the shield maiden's like, stop, you're okay, we're here for you, princess, stop. And the princess is screaming and just like every cuss word in the book, like just screaming, like you effing, like I just everything, calling
Am I
like
hearing this?
yeah,
Oh, well, I'm in there. Yeah.
yeah, like it was like complete personality flip within a split second.
I'm gonna go to the box. I'm gonna walk down and
Okay.
check out everything.
All right. Well, on your way, you see the abbot walking past you, and he's like, greetings, and he keeps walking. You walk out the gate, and you see Alori out there,
I'm
and you
gonna
see
stop
monks
the,
setting
can
up
I
a
stop
tent.
the abbot?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna say, did you get a chance to see the box?
I did.
What'd you think of it? I thought it was strange when I first saw it.
It is very strange. Don't touch it.
Okay.
I have ordered Alori to guard it. It will not be brought within the monastery gates.
You think it's magical?
It is magical, although I do not know the nature of it yet, so I must examine it more and do some research. But it will not come within these gates, and the princess must not be near it again until I have determined its true nature.
No. One last question. Do you think if you say it's magical, do you think it's a sort of elemental magic?
No.
No, it isn't. Interesting. That was when I first looked at it, I was definitely suspicious, and I thought similar things.
You've seen it before.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
In what circumstances?
While we were camping, actually on our way here, I saw it for just a brief moment in her carriage. When I
Has she
saw it, I
always
seemed
seemed
very.
protective of it?
I never saw it leave the carriage.
Did she leave the carriage?
A couple times, yes,
Hmm.
but not. She'd come out. She wouldn't even come out to eat.
Did she seem well for the journey or ill?
Ill.
I thank you for this wisdom that you've shared. It will hopefully provide more insights into the nature of this.
Sure thing.
So you walk out there, you see monks setting up a camp for Alori. Beecher. You see monks setting up a camp for Alori, and they're like setting up a tent, like literally like, so here's like a road, there's a cloth, you see the box, and then like they're setting up a tent and stuff for her right there.
Sorry, quick question. Did we bring the rug?
Yeah, I have it.
No.
Yeah, we rolled it up, remember?
Yes, but it was
But
brought
you left
in.
it at the palace.
Yeah, the palace. Remember
Oh,
they brought
yeah,
it
they
into the
did.
laboratory to investigate it. But you know,
Weird book.
she recognized the symbols.
I recognized 2 out of the 4 symbols.
2 out of
in
the 4
box.
symbols.
But so if
I'm
we
gonna
can-
go into the tent with all them.
You gonna get a massage?
Sure.
Okay.
It's not like a massive war tent. It's like a
Little tent.
I mean, you could fit in there. It's a 2-person tent. So they finish
Oh.
up setting up the camp. You're getting a massage.
Where's the box?
The box is sitting on a piece of cloth on the road, like literally just right outside of the tent. Nobody's touched
watching
it.
Alright.
Good job, Lori.
I'm just gonna kind of look up.
Meanwhile,
Oh.
Tony,
Okay, that's fine.
you find the library
That's right.
at Kadinkigala, and you know that this is
Good library.
it's pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, the capital city obviously has the best and most expansive libraries, but this one's good because Kadinkigala is a very old
So
city.
I want to enhance my own ability.
Yes,
Okay, and I want to use Owl's Wisdom.
yes.
And I want to go through the library and find books on 3 things, I think. I want to look into Beecher's thing.
Investigation is intelligence based, so you want
Oh.
to use the ability enhancement that gives you
Oh,
intelligence.
Fox Cunning.
Yes.
Interesting. Oh,
So-
I also have Known Cunning. Does that work with it?
No.
Or does that... Okay.
All right. So continue.
Anyway, I want to find stuff on the eye thing. Just, I know that's kind of vague, but I just want to look around for things that might be involved. Just look through a bunch of like Arcana stuff
Okay.
and just see if there's anything that kind of like pulls from that.
Okay.
I
So what is
also-
your investigation right now? What's your
I just kind of want to read up on some stuff.
before you cast the spell? What is
Yeah.
your investigation?
Oh, it's 3 plus 3.
Okay. So so you know what you're going to be investigating, what you're going to be researching.
Right.
You cast the spell on yourself. You feel your intellect expand tremendously. Now I'm going to let you make 3 rolls.
Okay.
Depending on the degree of successes, I will reveal what you've learned. Okay? So first roll. So far you're not doing well. Even with the bonus, a massive bonus that you have. Tony, would you like to, on behalf of would you like to purchase a reroll?
How do I purchase a reroll?
So you can use this
Okay.
one time. One time.
It's 9.
You
Didn't
spend a
even
lot of
roll it,
time at
he
the
just
library. No,
dropped
you
it.
didn't fail, Tony. You didn't fail.
I did fail,
Well,
Bill.
two of those
But he got a
rolls.
D.
2 of those rolls failed, but one was
got a
a moderate
These
success.
get degrees.
Tony, one of the moderate successes reveals
That
not
whole
in
trip
Arcana. Not listen,
wasted.
not in Arcana, but one of your successes after hours of research. You do discover a very, very old religious book, Tony,
Okay.
that talks about myths from like the dawn of Nuoth Otmai, and how there was a time when the gods used to impart knowledge upon mortals, and that the knowledge was so powerful that sometimes it would blind the mortals. Like the gods would give like god knowledge, like cosmic knowledge, and the mortal's simple brain could not possibly fathom that much power, and it would blind the mortals. That's the closest glimmer of interest that you've linked between your query for
Okay.
kind of these
I
things
wanted to
related
look
to
for
eyes.
another thing though.
Mhm.
Is that a separate thing of itself? Does that
Given the
have to
time,
re-roll?
you would have to come back the next day.
Ugh.
Because as it's getting later, they're going to close the library. But they're like,
You
you are welcome
tried.
to return, friend Bard. It's not that common that we get your kind, the forest gnomes, up here in the mountains. We did
Oh.
have a rock gnome who came through a few days ago, but But that's a little more common given
Now,
our location next
Bill,
to the mountains.
the librarian.
Yeah.
Male?
No. No.
Female?
She's like a middle-aged female human librarian. She's
Tony.
she's very she looks like she's very like helpful. She provides you with like, you know, guidance in terms of where to find specific subjects. She's, you know, it looks like she probably doesn't get out to talk to people very much, so she's like happy to talk to, you know, somebody, especially somebody like a forest gnome who they don't see that often, you know.
Especially interested. In
All right, make it quick. You have 10 seconds to decide what you're doing.
So, what do you think about little people?
She's like, well, I don't mean to affront you, but I find your kind fascinating. As I said, we don't see your kind or halflings for that matter very much here in Kadinkikala. So
If you'd like to examine me further, maybe we could go to a bar after your library closes.
make a persuasion roll, Tony.
Yes. Yes. Here comes Tony.
Tony.
This is fun. No way! Am I
You
persuaded?
got a 17
It's plus
for that?
7.
He completely fails to research properly, but he totally scores on the seduction roll. Tony, she's like, I get off work in approximately 1 hour. I would be overjoyed to have a meal with you and ask you more questions and get to know you
Oh
better.
my
I can
God,
never work it on anything unless it's like.
Tony, it's like hook, line, and sinker. She's like, please give me 2 hours so I can return to my cottage and just tidy up.
Hook,
There's a
line, and
wonderful,
sinker.
quiet little place that we could go for dinner, and they have very nice wine, actually. They brought it up from the south, from Dario
Oh.
Larcherie. Perhaps we can meet there.
I would love that.
It's called the Silver Spoon. I look forward to seeing you there.
Oh my God, what?
Cademan. It's what a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine. Rob. I don't say the prop
Right.
part, but everything
So-
else is said.
You do that.
You see all this happen through Jaquan's eyes.
Yeah, you watched it.
Jaquan,
This is what you
at
followed
one
me
point,
for.
Jaquan, so
No, I saw
Jaquan
it.
reports in, and at one point he's like, Master, surely I could be of greater assistance somewhere else. This seems to be leading nowhere.
What did Cademan find?
He found very little, except for a human woman. I believe he is going to have dinner with her.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Do you
Get,
still desire
get
me?
back here. Get back here, Jaquan. You're of no use out there. Out
As
there
I-
on the field.
Wasted.
As you command.
My evening's
Task.
wasted. Your evening's wasted. Take that,
So-
Jaquan.
My evening's
The
wasted.
princess, it takes a while for the princess to calm down, but eventually she seems to calm down.
Can you just
And
put
the
a
shield maidens are now like sitting with
She
her,
was asleep.
basically like between you and the shield maidens, the three of you kind of have the princess like surrounded in sort of a little triangle of safety. So the princess is just like kind of bored and she's like laying down on her pillows and she's got like a blanket over her and she's kind of taking a nap. And the shield maidens are like, so has she been like this the whole time?
She's been like on and off.
She was never like this in the capital. Something is very strange here.
When did this start happening?
Well, she's been ill, like on and off, since this past summer when we returned from the summer wine festival.
Did she get drunk? Did she have too much wine?
No, not
Okay.
really. It was
She's not an
it was
alcoholic.
odd. She was actually okay. She was okay for a while, but on the return journey to the capital, there were some odd things that had happened. There were a few raids from some of the Quotient. The Quotient are like dwarven barbarians who like they're nomads and they kind of travel around and they do raids and stuff like that. And actually, you would have known this. You would have known that they had been around. So
When did she get this box? Like, when do you first remember seeing it?
it was actually discovered on the journey to the capital. as we were returning from the Summer Wine Festival from Dario Larcherie, you know the tiefling Rayloff. You met him.
Yeah.
And you do. He's
He's your boo thing.
Rayloff was a very valiant leader, and he and a few others that were escorting us discovered this box buried
Grumble discovered.
deep in a cavern. I didn't go down myself, but there was a dwarf with them named Grimble who discovered it at the bottom of a murky underground river. And we were just bringing it back, actually, to the capital to deliver to the Archmage so he could examine it. But the princess wanted to keep it kind of as a keepsake or a memento of her travel. We've never seen her open it or do anything with it. It doesn't seem to have any means of opening it, so we always just assumed it was kind of like a trophy or a keepsake. We've never seen her act this way about it before. This is very odd. So,
Back on the street.
yep.
Now, I'm going to leave the tent. Is there anyone else outside the tent?
Well, after the monks set everything up, they leave. So you have a tent, you have bedrolls, you have pillows, blankets, food, water, wine, everything.
So there's people
You
outside
have, like, a
the
campfire?
tent, like
No.
hanging around.
Nope,
No,
They're
it's
all
just,
inside
just
the
her
you and me.
and you. There's no other people out
Oh,
in
I
the tent.
thought- Hey, what's up? This box is weird.
It's whack.
You want to go check it out? See if we can open it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I'm going to go over there and pick up the box and bring it over.
okay.
And I'm going to bring the cloth.
It's
Okay.
funny because it's metal and it feels, like a metal box would. It feels very solid. It's not super heavy, but it's definitely solid. You can make investigation rolls if you want. As you're examining it closer. Wow, that was good.
23.
Natural.
Wow. So you both you bring it in the tent. You're like, let's look at it. You guys examine the shit out of this box. Like there are no seams. It's like a solid cube.
Yeah.
It's a
Of
cube
metal.
with 4 symbols on it, and I recognize 2 of them.
Yes.
Do I now recognize some of those?
You do. Now that you're looking at it, she points
Two of
out the
them are
ones that
from
she
the rug.
recognized before as being from the rug.
And the other 2 we don't know.
So on one side is a symbol that you recognize, like it's almost like a flashback. Like you remember going down the stairs and you saw the rug.
Yeah.
The one of the symbols
PTSD.
was at the top, the head of the rug, farthest from you.
Mm-hmm.
Another symbol that you see on the cube was on the right side.
They like correspond to the sides, or like what I can think they do.
Well,
But
no.
the-
But there is an order to them.
Okay.
So the symbols, if you read it, see, this is the problem. You don't know if you read it left to right, up to down, because you don't recognize the symbols. But there's definitely an order to them.
Okay.
So the 2 symbols that you guys recognize are right next to each other. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
The 2 symbols that you recognize from the rug
Right next
are
to
right
each
next to each other. So it's like there's a couple symbols and then the 2 symbols that you recognize.
Okay.
Whoa.
I want to try and open it.
Same.
Okay.
What
I don't
happens
know
if
how
I
I'm
try
gonna
to, like,
start to do that?
Hit it.
Go ahead. With what?
Hit it.
My new rapier.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. You just like tap it, or how do you hit it?
I just want to tap it. See
You're
what
like-
happens at first.
Nothing happens.
Okay,
It's
I
just
want
like
to
ding.
smack it.
How hard do you want to smack it?
Smack.
And how do you feel about it? All right, you smack it really hard. Nothing happens. Just ding. It's a louder
I'm gonna
ding.
take
Okay.
my scythe,
And do it at the same time.
and then I'm just gonna put the scythe on the box and anything happen? Like put the blade of the scythe, tip of the scythe.
Does anything happen?
Yeah.
And you're just like tapping it, kind of
Yeah,
like.
just like, and then I'm gonna hold it.
Okay. No.
Right.
I'm gonna do mine at the same time as his, and tap it.
Okay. You like hold it on there at the same time?
Yeah. What if we rest it on? Are there any symbols on our stuff? Our new things?
Are any like magic?
Any symbols that could resemble any of them that are on the box?
Yes,
Okay.
but not on yours.
On his?
There's one on his.
Wait, say that again. Sorry, that last.
There's a symbol on your scythe
So,
that matches one on the
Your
box.
the metal on
Yeah.
your scythe has like
Symbols.
magical inscriptions, and one little part of the magical inscription on your scythe matches one of the.
I'm going to flip the box so that symbol is directed upwards,
Mhm.
up, and then I'm going to flip my scythe around in a cool way and then hit the top of the box with my scythe.
Make a Constitution save.
Oh, I hate Constitution saves. 9.
You don't suffer any damage, but you are blinded for 1 round. White, searing hot pain
Oh.
in your eyes.
My eyes!
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna be like, Owen, are you okay?
I hit the
Okay."
box. My eyes. They hurt. Oh, Jesus! Oh.
Suddenly,
Wait, did
as
he-
suddenly as it happened, you're fine. You know how you see
This box is
spots?
messed
You know how
up.
you see spots?
Yeah.
Like
Actually, I know
after
what
you
those
get
are.
blinded,
Yes.
the phosphines.
Yes.
Except instead of just random blurs of light, orbs of light in your spots, one of the symbols, the symbol that you hit, is just ever so briefly glowing for like 1 second, and then
On
it
the
fades
box?
away.
On the box that's glowing?
In your vision, like
Oh, in my
so, like
vision.
imagine you're like, and say like the box is over here, right? Out of the corner of your eye in your peripheral vision, for just a split second, it looked like the phosphines, like you're seeing spots, are actually glowing on one of the symbols.
And the symbol that we're talking about is not one of the 2 symbols that we recognize.
It
Or
is one of the
It
2
is.
symbols
Okay,
that you
it is,
recognize.
it is. All right. I thought
Did
I
you
saw
see
the
anything?
symbol. I thought I saw one of the symbols. Oh my jeebies, my eyes are crazy. That symbol, the symbol that I just hit, I just saw it for a brief second.
Did it do anything?
No, it just went away. Fast
Um,
as it was there, it was gone.
Do I notice anything with the box, or does the box
You
look
didn't
normal?
see anything. Like
Okay.
you just saw him hit it.
Yeah.
There
And
was
that's
no
it.
bright white flash. Nothing happened.
No. Yeah. Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to do it again? Or,
I mean, we're on to something with that symbol. What?
but do you really want to hit it again?
No, I don't. I really don't. But I do.
I don't. Do you want me to hit it this time, using your scythe?
No, that's a
Scythe?
bad
Scythe?
idea. I'm
Scythe.
gonna do it again.
How do you feel when you hit it?
How do I feel? Or
Yeah. How do you feel? How does Owen feel?
I hit it with want to know more. With the want to know more. Like
Oh,
I hit it
like
out
desire?
of. I hit it out of like desire of curiosity, like a curiosity.
Okay, go
desire.
ahead. Make another con save.
15.
Nothing happens. Clang.
You have to feel something specific for it. Somebody does. What did? Think about it. What,
I'm
who
gonna
was on the trip?
okay. I'm gonna hit it with.
Well off, right?
I'm
Who's the
gonna hit it
princess
with
into?
religion in mind.
Maybe with love and mind.
6.
Nothing happens.
All right, never mind. This box is broken.
Did you break it?
No, it just doesn't work. Works all too well, actually. Okay, I think we should leave it.
Wait, I have a signet ring.
Mm-hmm. Your family's
Does that
symbol?
have symbols on it?
Yes, but not anything that matches this.
Okay.
Good question, though.
What
Your
about
family
unfamiliar
guards
gold
a very
coins?
sacred lake Your family, they don't just do it by themselves.
Yeah.
But your family is part of a long line of people who kind of are the custodians and the caretakers of the sacred lake, which is way to the east of the country.
Yeah. Well, what about the unfamiliar gold coin that we found with the stamp on it?
Uh-huh.
Does that have a symbol?
Ooh, it does.
One
But
that
it doesn't,
matches the box?
It doesn't match the box.
Oh.
But there are symbols all over
Why'd you
it.
say ooh?
Because I didn't think that you remembered that.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, it has stuff all over it, symbols and writing all over the coin that you have never seen and you don't recognize.
I also have a weird book, but I don't remember what that is.
Uh-huh.
What is it from?
Everything that I give you is important.
Where
Not
is
a
the-
moment.
What is the weird
Everything
book
I give you is important.
from? What was the book from again?
Don't know.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the princess is like while you guys are just whispering and stuff, and she's like sleeping, you hear her like she kind of stirs, and she's like, no, like she's having a bad dream, like it's obvious. You don't even need to roll, and the shield maidens are like, oh, she's at it again. This is what we dealt with the whole trip here. She has these strange dreams and she screams out in the night, and then we have to calm her down.
Do you know what they're about?
No, she never remembers. We ask her every time. She never remembers. And like one of them goes up, she's like, Princess Teresa, you're fine. Like pets her hair and stuff, and she kind of calms down. So it's getting dark. You have a campfire going. Are you gonna stay out?
Yeah,
All
I'll
right, so
stay
you
out.
two are out there at the
Okay.
tent. It's dark. You have a campfire. There's more than enough food and stuff for you. It's not cold. It's a little colder than it would be just because you're up higher at a higher elevation in the mountains, but it's not like frigid cold, and you have plenty of blankets and stuff.
Is the box still in the tent with us?
Sure,
Okay.
unless you put it back out there.
I'm kind of tweaking out about it. You want to put it back out there?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right,
We'll move
we'll put it back where it was.
Okay,
Okay.
Tony, you're having dinner
You ready for some shit, Bill?
with a
I'm about-
pleasant middle-aged human librarian woman, and she's very happy to talk to you. She's like engaged in conversation with you. She asks you like a million questions about what it's like to be a forest gnome and to be a bard and travel around, and how many different cities you've been to and what kind of adventures you've had. She's
Alright.
very eager to get to know you.
Now, I have an objective in mind.
Mhm.
So, having said that, I would like to roll insight to see if how she's into me. Is it like really
Sure.
cool to know me, or am I gonna have to use some
Go ahead.
Tricks?
Roll insight.
bard cunning to 12?
You
but
are
plus
certain-
persuade. But insight.
You are certain that
13.
she's like fascinated by you and interested in you, but also that maybe things could go.
Your
You
way.
know.
Okay.
Oh, you smashed
Well. Okay. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll do this. So I'm gonna be like, I have a weird book at my house, and
like,
I
"Oh."
just can't quite figure out what it means. But I'd love for you to inspect it and maybe give me some knowledge.
I would love
on it.
that.
Boom, Bill.
Yeah.
2 with 1 stone. You thought I was crazy, but I had an idea for the librarian, and now we've succeeded
That's right.
because
So,
I'm the genius.
Tony,
Bill.
I won't even have you make a persuasion roll because you already scored that. So you finish up the dinner. I'm assuming you're gonna pay. So it's a gold piece because you guys had like
Yeah.
a lot of ale and food.
Whatever. Who cares?
So minus off gold. So you pay, and then you go back to the inn.
Oh, here we go.
And
I have
then-
200, dude. It's nothing.
You go back to the inn. You go up to your room.
You really rich.
And she's like, oh, this is a very nice inn. It's one of the best in the town.
I'm kind of a big deal. It's not important.
So you go to the room.
Bruh.
All of your stuff's there.
Okay.
That book, you like dig that book out of your bag.
Right.
Okay, so you find it, and it's got strange writing in it, and you're not really sure what it is.
Yeah. So I just kind of like, here, want to check out my book, and I give
Certainly.
the book.
And she like looks it over, and she's like, She's like flipping through it. She's like, what language is this?
I have no idea. I was hoping.
I've
you'd
never
know.
seen this language, much less this style of writing. These fonts are very curious. The style of the calligraphy is unlike anything I've seen. she's like, have you shown this to anyone else, or?
No. Not really, you're the first.
You know what? Tomorrow morning, I may know someone who could decipher this.
Cool.
We should.
Figure that out in the morning?
Why, yes. Tony, you
Just looks
once
like
again
starting with Bill.
must make a roll.
I like that I could be the soap opera part of the D&D.
You're like the telenovela
I know.
of this game.
Wait, +7, that's 15.
It's good enough. She
Yeah,
was already.
That's
He
fine.
rolls
So-
an 8.
It's, a libra- it's a middle-aged librarian. Peter.
So-
Give me a break.
So Tony,
but it's crazy.
you spend the majority of the rest of the evening with the librarian.
Cool.
Just
I invite her to
talking,
stay at
or
my
what?
place because I don't want her to steal
No,
my book.
it goes fully into sheets.
Okay.
So fade to black, fade up at morning time.
Wait, it's morning?
No, not yet. Not for you guys, just for
Okay.
him. Throughout the night,
I've woken up
the
at
princess has multiple like bad dreams, and like basically each one of you, like the 2 shield maidens and you, each take like a shift
Like
watching
watching
her.
her?
Yeah,
Okay.
while the others sleep. There's nothing really eventful that happens. Like she never like screams out like a name or jumps up and attacks someone. She just kind of like has a nightmare, like night terrors, like freaks out. You pacify her, and then she goes back to sleep.
When?
You guys,
Hey.
are you both sleeping?
Yes.
So no one's watching the box?
We'll do shifts. We'll do
Okay.
shifts.
Oh, so close. All right. Who's doing the first shift?
What is the first shift? What time is that?
10 to 4.
I'll take that shift. I'll take the first shift.
So you stay up till 4 in the morning, and
Yep.
then you're gonna wake her up.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Make
I'm
a
gonna-
roll. Roll a d20. Okay.
8.
Good. All right. So you're gonna do what now during that time?
At 12:30,
Uh huh.
I'm gonna send Jaquan to the inn,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna tell him to scope out the hallway that my room is in,
Mhm.
and have him tell me what's there.
Jaquan does that. He's like, there is nothing there, master.
No one in the hallway.
No. It is
Perfect.
quiet in the inn.
Perfect. Come back here, and then he's gonna come to me.
Okay.
I'm gonna have him fly up into the air
Yeah.
and look around me, see if there's anyone watching.
Master, there is a strange little man in the rocks far above the monastery.
Watching us.
He is, I don't know if he's watching you, but he is definitely awake. And he has a small camp, and he is looking down upon where you are. He is small, like the one that you travel with.
Yes. Okay.
Oh.
He
I'm
has
gonna need-
grayish
Wait,
skin.
Rockno. The one the librarian saw earlier.
You don't know that. He doesn't know that.
Mm.
Meta moment. Metagaming.
All right. Jaquan, I'm gonna need you to coordinate something with me, and we are gonna need to be time perfect on this. Okay?
As you command, master.
Jaquan, go fly up to that rock gnome.
It is done.
Be behind the rock gnome, and is he looking in our direction? Looking at this
So
spot?
you blink into Jaquan's view. So
Yeah.
Jaquan's like a couple boulders up from the rock gnome. And what you see now is a perspective, like imagine like you're up in a mountain. Here's like the monastery, right? Here's like you guys camped outside of the monastery. The rock gnome's like got this little niche between rocks, between like boulders and rocks. And he's got like a spyglass. You've seen these things before. They're very expensive. They're like a leather cone with like heavy glass in between, and you could see far away. And you see he's like awake. There's no fire. There's no campfire. There's like bedroll, blankets, all this stuff. And he's like spying between two rocks, like looking down at you guys. And every once in a while he'll like look down, and then he'll like go sit back down in his like little spot.
All right, Jaquan, Thank you.
Jaquan's invisible.
Yes, I know.
So
I know.
he's just
All right, Jaquan. I am going to need you to fly into that spyglass and can you pick up the spyglass? Is Jaquan big enough to pick up the spyglass?
yes.
All right, Jaquan.
I will be visible when it happens, though, Master.
That is all right.
You want me to steal the spyglass?
Yes, I want you to steal the spyglass, fly up, and break it. And right when he takes the spyglass, I am going to cast invisibility on myself. I am going to go take the box. I am then going to run back to the inn. I am going to go into my room.
Wait. So you tell him to do this.
Tell him to do this.
So Jaquan goes to steal the spyglass, and he grabs it, and the rock gnome pulls it back, and now Jaquan's visible. You need to roll initiative for Jaquan.
Oh, Jaquan. 15. And he's also a pseudo dragon. So he's
Jaquan
probably gonna have
loses.
some decent decks. What?
The rock gnome swipes at Jaquan, but misses. Do you want Jaquan to try to grab the thing and get out with it?
No,
or just evade?
I want Jaquan to keep the rock gnome's attention, and I'm going to go invisible and take the box.
Okay. Make a roll for Jaquan to actually, you know what?
I want him to aggressively.
How about he's just like kind of flying around?
I want
and dodging?
I want him to.
Okay.
Well, I want him to like aggressively harass the rock gnome.
Okay, so the rock gnome's gonna swipe again, but the rock gnome has disadvantage because basically Jaquan is dodging. He's just flitting
Yeah.
around. So the rock gnome misses again.
As long as it takes for me to get the box and have it be invisible.
The rock gnome hits.
Okay, Jaquan, you got this.
Jaquan takes some damage.
Okay.
You're invisible. You've got the box. You're
and
booking.
Now that I'm holding a box, it becomes invisible.
Yes.
Correct. All right, I'm booking to the inn.
Okay.
Um,
You feel like Jaquan's like, Master, if he hits me again, I'm dead.
Jaquan retreat.
Jaquan retreats. The rock gnome misses, and Jaquan has successfully retreated.
Yes, Jaquan.
You are
All right.
invisible. You run for the length and duration, concentrating on the invisibility as you carry the box. The problem is that as you're carrying the box, every time you move, it's like ka-clink, 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 because whatever is inside of the box makes noise. So you're invisible, but you're loud.
Okay.
You get down to the bottom of the hill, and now you're kind of in town.
All right.
And you're ducking in between stuff. You
Yeah.
want to make a stealth roll?
Sure.
You're trying to carry the...
And I have advantage, correct? Because I'm invisible.
Yeah, you're trying to carry the box in such a way that it doesn't make noise.
12.
Okay, that works.
12.
You get to the inn.
I'm going to, as stealthily
Yep.
as I possibly can, go up to my room.
Okay, you go up to your room.
Am I in my room? And
Yep.
I didn't get an inkling that anyone is following me.
Nope. Make a perception roll.
4.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go into...
Do you light anything in your room, or are you just relying on dark vision?
I am going to light something in my room.
Okay.
But what I am going to do is I'm going to take my 5 skeletons, snake skeletons. I'm going to take my odd skull, and I'm going to take my candle. And I'm going to set up a little ritual thing, and I'm going to put the box right smack dab in the middle.
Okay,
and
so
I am
you're
going
setting
to-
this stuff up.
Our
And then
rooms are
suddenly,
next to each other.
suddenly, over your shoulder, you hear a voice. There was nothing and no one behind you.
Okay.
But suddenly, over your shoulder, you hear a voice say, "Well, isn't that interesting?" You look over your shoulder.
Yeah.
You see in the chair in the corner that was just a moment ago empty, you see a very well-dressed, like noble well-dressed, like silk shirt and like gold, like ornate jewelry, gold chain, like this looks like royalty, right? And he's a human. And he's got black curly hair. And his clothes are almost gaudy, like he's overly fancily dressed. Like if you just randomly reached into like the clothing of a king and put on like a bunch of different like silk things and stuff. Like it's almost like there's no coordination with the outfit, and yet everything he's wearing is like very expensive.
All
And he
right.
just looks at you and he's like, "Isn't that interesting?
I'm
How
gonna-
did you learn how to do that?"
I'm going to.
And that's where we're going to end this episode of D&D with high school students. See you in a couple weeks, people.
Couple.
God damn it, Jack.
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
No Vegas.
Are you rolling?